Right now, the internet is roasting CEOs for how they eat burgers. As a responsible psychologist, it is my sworn duty to pile on. So today on The Hungry Psychologist, we will be doing an analysis of the McDonald CEO burger taste. Let's begin. 3 things I want you to notice. First, the bite itself.
The moment of truth.
In my professional opinion, this reminds me of the moment that Squidward tries a Krabby Patty for the first time. It's a slow, highly controlled, small bite. And psychology can explain this bite in 2 ways. First, he never eats food like this. And second, he's shifted into impression management mode. This is why people like Mark Zuckerberg come across as almost alien in public appearances. It's an extreme version of masking that results from hyper-controlling every emotional expression. And they're doing that to try to avoid coming across as awkward or weird, which ironically leads to exactly that happening. Second thing to notice from the video is the post-bite smile.
So good.
He's smiling, but not with his eyes. Psychologists call this a non-Duchenne smile. A real smile activates the muscles around the eyes, whereas a fake one only uses the mouth. This post-bite smile tells me he was not smiling because he enjoyed the burger. He was smiling for the shareholders. Third thing to notice from the video is his language.
It's a delicious product. Love this product. It is so good.
Nobody talks like that about a burger, but that's because your point of reference is normal human conversation. In the corporate world, executives spend most of their time interacting with other executives, investors, and their board. And our language tends to adapt based on the people we interact with most. When I moved to Texas, I started saying y'all. In psychology, this is known as language convergence. There's also an opposite phenomenon known as language divergence. That's when someone speaks differently to create distance or signal identity. Think a teenager using slang around adults, or a CEO using corporate jargon to signal authority and superiority. And now, fabulous viewer, I'm going to analyze you. Here's the thing, and to be clear, this is not me defending McDonald's CEO, but as a psychologist, I couldn't help myself but make this into a small teachable moment for you. See, once the internet decided that this guy looked awkward, our minds started collecting evidence to prove it. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. Once we form an opinion about someone, we tend to pay more attention to the things that support that opinion than the things that don't. There's also something known as the horns effect and the halo effect. When we like someone, we tend to interpret their behavior generously and give them the benefit of the doubt. That's the halo effect. But when we dislike someone, everything they do suddenly looks worse. The horn effect. And let's be real here. Most of us have very strong opinions about corporate CEOs and the wealthy elite, and for very good reasons. And to be clear, that burger tasting video was super awkward. But psychology tells us that our minds might be amplifying the awkwardness a little bit. A little bit. When we decide something looks ridiculous, it's easy to keep finding reasons why. And we don't just do this to other people. We do this to ourselves. If you believe you're awkward, not good enough, or bad, then your mind is going to collect evidence to prove that, while also interpreting everything as worse than it actually is. So sometimes the healthiest thing you can do for yourself is stop assuming the worst interpretation of your own behavior, because chances are you're judging yourself way more harshly than anyone else would. Stay hungry, my friends.